Hello, Silver Rain Running Cloud here. Foxy and I, there he is. Can you see him? Foxy! Come here, Foxy. Foxy and I are out here in our plaza, our green from where we live. And I'm just thinking about yesterday when I was at the park. And I want to tell you the story. I got to the park where I usually go for my exercise, and I had stopped going there because people would let their dogs out to bark when I would walk, and sometimes a man would come with big dogs and walk directly in my path laughing, and just small intimidations that made me uncomfortable. The police would usually drive by, and it just made me so uncomfortable to be there. But since I've been complaining so much, and the Phoenix police have been working so hard to get rid of the neo-Nazi gang-motivated behavior and the hate crimes and their own problems with neo-Nazi gangs, that I felt very safe again and went out. But while I was out, I saw 3 black men talking, and they were big and handsome. And one of them had dreadlocks, and I was like, ooh, wow, you're so sexy. But I knew that probably the European woman would be all over him, and I wouldn't have a chance, so I didn't even really smile. I just, dealt with the feelings I was having. Because the feelings that I was having were feelings of alarm. I felt alarmed. I felt like, oh my God, a group of African Americans, they're gonna send the police out here. And I just knew it. So I went around the park twice, and nothing happened to these men. They're still out there, and I'm still, every time I'm coming around to pass them, I'm thinking, oh my God, I make more of us. It's gonna look like we're taking over. It's gonna make all the Europeans really violent. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? But then I'd walk away, I'd forget about it. But then I come around, and I see the police talking to these men. So I try to pull out my camera to make a video, but I'm on the telephone, so the video won't work. So I'm thinking that the police have a device that will stop people from videotaping when these crimes happen. So now I'm even more panicked, right? Because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna watch, racially motivated police action, and I don't even have my camera. But I tried to take a picture later. The picture came out of just my fingers. But when the police saw me, they started driving away. And when they drove by me, they said, did you call the police? And the 2 of them are kind of grinning, and there I said, no. And I've been here for quite some time and didn't see any police. Now, the thing about my skin tone and the wig I wear is that people can't tell my race right away, but they don't immediately think African American. So I get to see behind the veil sometimes. I get to see what they're really thinking and doing. So I get through the anger, and I don't have any documentation, but at least the police have left. So I walk around the thing again, and it takes, about 10 minutes to walk around. And then I see this woman, and she is spraying weed killer out of this big can onto a lawn full of rocks with a handful of weeds, and she's steadily looking over her shoulder, pretending like she's not looking, but looking in her picture window and looking over her shoulder while she is just spraying the heck out of her rocks to kill the weeds. So I know she's the one. I know she's the watchdog that they have there doing the watching, because these gangs have watchmen. They'll watch the entrances to towns and follow you around a town. So, think about it. If there's one road into a town off the highway, how hard would it be to have people posted at that road to intimidate people that they don't walk there? So I've experienced these things before in Arizona, where the racism is pretty intense. The Europeans are completely out of control. So I go to, not all of them, and not all the time. And there's been a great deal of improvement, and we're looking for more improvement, because the economic future of Arizona really depends on their ability to break free of the neo-Nazi European financed gangs that are operating in this state. So what I found was this woman in this very, very humble home has a direct view of the parking lot, clear, no plants in her view. And she's watering weeds. I mean, she's killing weeds that are just not really viable, that could have been dead. So I break up a chat with her, and she doesn't know what I am. So she's chatting back. I say, oh, killing weeds? And she says, yeah. And I say, oh, looks like you pretty much got them. There's not much there. Because I know she's the one, so I'm edgy. And she says, well, you gotta get them early before they grow. She kind of looked over her shoulder, you know, over where the black people were. She says, you know what I mean? You can't just let them grow. And I know that we're no longer talking about weeds, but now we're talking about black people and calling the police on them. So now that I know this, I say, nah, it can't be this bad. Silver Rain, people are not this wicked and stupid and evil and mean. Surely this isn't the truth. So I called the local police department, and this is all I said. Yes, there were black people in the park. And the young European girl who answered the phone for dispatch said, where are you located? And I said, well, I'm not exactly sure. I'm at Grover's Park. I'm at 16th. And she says, what's the crossing street? I said, well, I'm not sure what the crossing street is, but there are black people in the park. And she said, okay, Grover's Park, let's see. Are you at the dog park? And I said, no, I'm across the street from the dog park, and there are black people here. And she said, okay, let's see, across the street from the dog park. Okay, let me connect you to the officers, or whatever the language she used. The young woman wasn't surprised that my complaint was there are black people in the park. She didn't say, excuse me, or anything. She acted like a black people in the park was a regular police call. I live in a state in America where black people in the park get you the police. How do you like that? So, I call the police and everything, and then she puts me through to the dispatch. But by now, I'm having a complex post-traumatic stress kind of breakdown, sort of. I'm like, no, it can't be this organized. I mean, I always have proof. I get the proof a million times because I'm not an evil person. You have to teach me a million times how evil you are, because I'll always see the best in you, because I'm just that dumb. So that woman in the humble home, dressed in the rags, looking dull and thin like she never had a good meal in her life and certainly never read a book, she's there to call the police. And after a while, the African Americans left. You know, but before they left, I told them, I said, hey, there's a lot of racism here. And the police came because you're black. And always carry your iPhone and always keep your video camera. And as soon as you see the cops, videotape them. Turn it on. Because you might not have the rights you think you have in America. Not while the Europeans and the NeoNazis are in charge. All you have to do is call the cops in Phoenix and say there are black people in the park. And black people will be gone. How do you like that?